and a Liz Truss supporter, Ranil Jayawardena. Welcome to the programme. Good to have you with us. First of all, just clarify for us, is Liz Truss joining Rishi Sunak in calling for sanctions or not?
Well, look, I'm not going to make policy for Liz today. As you say, I'm Minister for International Trade. There are already a significant number of measures in place regarding Iran. And Liz, as Foreign Secretary, has done great things to make sure that we have been able to deliver for the British people and for a number of British people, specifically in regards to Iran, bringing Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe home, for example. So, look, I'm not going to make policy up on your programme today. Certainly that's not my role as Minister for International Trade. But I think no one should be in any doubt that Liz does deliver for the British people and does what is right in regards to anyone around the world. She's introduced and led, I would contend, the Western world as Foreign Secretary in imposing sanctions on Russia, and that's proof of her position.
I mean, I know that people in your position don't like polls and all the rest of it, but what do you make of the fact that 63% apparently of Tory members would actually prefer Boris Johnson to stay in power than for Liz Truss or even Rishi Sunak, for that point, to take over?
Well, I supported Boris Johnson when he stood for the leadership in the first place. In fact, I was supporting him from before there was a vacancy at that time, because I believed that he was the Prime Minister to get Brexit done, and he did that. And he had that will be a great legacy of his, that he secured Brexit. And indeed, during COVID, he got the big calls right on getting the vaccine rollout, getting the booster rollout, and reopening our country way before other countries in Europe and further afield. So there is a very clear legacy for Boris, but he has resigned. He has set out that he is leaving office, and though Liz remained loyal to him to the end and did not resign as Foreign Secretary, unlike others, she is now standing for the leadership of this country to really get our country growing again, because we need to grow our economy. We cannot tax our way to growth, and she's recognising that this is a difficult time. People do need help, and that's why she wants to cut people's taxes and put more money back in their pockets.
How are tax cuts going to help people who don't pay tax? There are millions of people who work full-time but simply don't earn enough to pay any tax. Those on disabilities who use a lot of power at home, they will not be helped by tax cuts. How is she going to help them without giving them handouts, which she's called Gordon Brown-style handouts?
Well, first of all, there is a proposal from Liz to have a one-year pause on the energy levy. Now, that will bring down everyone's bills, so everyone benefits from that. And also, she wants to scrap the increase that is currently proposed to corporation tax. And why is that important? Because that will actually stimulate the economy by drawing in investment and creating more good jobs for people, so that people do get the jobs of the future and do get higher paid jobs in the years ahead. That's how we should actually help people. That's a long-term,
but that's a long-term plan. And scrapping corporation tax isn't going to help those hard-up people in the months ahead. And scrapping the energy levy as well on bills, that's not going to be enough either. She's going to have to go much further than that to help people. Energy bills are soaring, and what she's announcing is only going to help that much.
Well, it's important that we are also clear that government should not seek to promise to do absolutely everything, but there is work going on in government to see what more can be done. Liz has been very clear that she will do all she can to help those struggling. She wants to do that in a Conservative way, but the responsible and the honest thing to do is to really consider those proposals when in office, when we're not simply looking at projections, but we're able to make decisions in light of all the facts at that moment in time. That's what leadership is about.
But we know how
much it's about being straight with people now.
We know how much bills are going to go up by, and waiting until September the 5th or the 6th is causing people weeks of worry. There are millions of people out there who are really, really frightened about the forthcoming rise in bills. Waiting until then, the optics of it look like the candidates are more worried about becoming Prime Minister than they are about those millions of people.
Well, first of all, the energy prices are projected at this moment in time. We will know soon, but we don't have the actual figure just yet. So that's a really important point for people. And I do regret that there has been scaremongering from some quarters on this. Second, I do believe that the pause on the energy levy is a really important immediate relief for families with their energy bills, alongside the cut in NI that will help people. But if elected Prime Minister, Liz has also said that she will hold an emergency budget to see what more can be done at that time.